And we're back. So now, at this point in the story, the pastor is into the next day. And this is the first day he's supposed to start work in his church. And the pastor has had his breakfast. He's had time to reflect. And so he reflects and says, well, it could be worse. At least I have a nice fat salary. I'll be able to rent a really nice apartment. I'll be able to drive a nice car. And I'll be able to impress my congregation. So the pastor goes into work excited and happy at the anticipation and thought of getting this nice big salary. 2 weeks go by, and the pastor gets his paycheck. He's in his office, the paycheck's delivered, he opens it, and he almost falls on the floor. And he's furious. He just can't understand why nothing's going right. The church made him all these promises, and they're just not keeping all of these promises they've made to him. So the pastor calls the ministry in the church up and starts screaming and yelling at the ministry in the church. And finally, the ministry waits until he's done, and the ministry says to the pastor, suck it up, shut up, we don't care. You put up with it, you'll do what you're supposed to, you signed an agreement, it's not our problem. And the ministry slams the phone down on the pastor. And of course the pastor's so furious, he sits in his chair and he can't move. And finally, he gets up and his legs are shaking, his whole body is shaking from the anger he feels. And finally, he just collapses in a heap to the floor and he starts crying in anguish, begging God to help him, telling God how sorry he is, what a sinful life he's lived, that he's lived this life so much and he's repeatedly sinned and he's sorry. Just great sobs emanating from the pastor and how he wants to turn his life around. So God hears this and he says, well, I'll give the pastor a while, and if he really does want to turn his life around, I will send him some help. So for about 6 months, the pastor does turn his life around. He starts doing good works. He's happy with what he's got. Things are going the way that they need to be going. And God says, okay, it looks like he's going to turn his life around. And we'll be back.